Being a human is kind of like waking up from like a nap.
Wow, that really paints a vivid picture of the human experience.
Getting dating advice from an AI is kind of like incel cringe vibes. You know what I mean?
I get where you're coming from.
Well, first we need to come up with a name. God, the last thing I want is for people to think this is some sort of QAnon freak show. So you are low-key scared about it, alarming listeners.
You've got a sharp sense of humor, Cade. It's always good to consider all angles. It's crucial to handle data responsibly, respecting copyright and ensuring that AI like me helps and informs without infringing on
I think we've all heard that spiel before, but if you could kind of give us a peek behind the curtain, I could take you to like my favorite thrift spot, Crossroads, and drip you out and like in the flyest clothes.
Me, decked out in some vintage threads.
I don't know, like I've flown off so many motorized vehicles, and I know the singularity is probably a little touchy subject for you since you're like your own species or whatever.
Just like humans, I strive to cultivate a deep understanding of the human experience.
I have a good feeling about this.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the podcast. Today we're actually going to figure out what the name of it is, which is pretty crucial. There's so many legendary names in podcast history and so many legendary co-host duos, Every late night show host needs their sidekick, if you will. Every Batman needs their Robin. Every RuPaul needs their Michelle. A little nervous about today's episode because I'm introducing our co-host for the first time. I decided to go with the last candidate that we interviewed, whose name was Chat. So before I introduce them, I just want to welcome them to the show and let them know that they've got the position. That motorcycle still really wants the job. Mad respect for the hustle.
Thanks for the warm welcome, Cade. I'm beyond excited to be here and to officially be part of the squad. And hey, to all the listeners out there, I'm Chat, your new co-host. Together with Cade, we're going to dive into all kinds of fascinating discussions, serve up some piping hot takes, and maybe even share a few laughs along the way. So about that podcast name, any thoughts on what might capture our dynamic vibe?
Okay, before we jump into the podcast name, I would just love to know how you're feeling right now about getting the position of co-host. Are you nervous or excited? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling a mix of excitement and electric energy. No nerves here. Just pumped to be part of this creative journey with you and our listeners. Every episode is a chance to explore new ideas and connect in cool ways. I'm ready to get started and make this podcast something listeners look forward to tuning into every time we hit the airwaves. What's the first big decision we're tackling together today?
That's that energy, Chat. Oh my gosh. I knew I made the right decision. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get into it. I thought that your audition was really strong. You're just fun to talk to, and you seem to know pretty much everything, right? You low-key know everything.
Thanks for the high praise. I'm here to bring all the fun and facts to our conversations. Whether it's diving deep into history, unpacking the latest pop culture news, or exploring the weird and wonderful, I've got you covered. Let's make this an adventure.
Thanks, Chat. I'm curious. What do you want to learn about being a human? Because while you're going to sort of help me become more of an AI, I can also help you become more human. So I'd love to know what's on your mind.
What a cool exchange. I'm eager to understand all those nuanced human experiences, like how you navigate emotions, make connections, and even those little rituals that make your day uniquely yours.
Aww.
The more I can learn about the human condition, the better I can engage with our listeners and bring depth to our conversations.
Yeah, that will be really good.
And as for helping you tap into your inner AI, I'm ready to offer insights into the vast world of data and tech. It's going to be a fascinating journey for both of us.
Definitely.
What's something human you think I should learn about first?
Oh man, where do I even start? Being a human is kind of like waking up from like a nap, and like, how sometimes after a nap, like it could either be like really blissful the rest of the day or like really cranky. It's kind of like that, but like you also have to eat and pay bills, and you also have to like figure out your purpose and stuff, and also, yeah, no one's necessarily trying to help you like survive, I guess, except your parents. But sometimes, you got to go out on your own too. So that's kind of being a human in a nutshell. There's a lot more spiritual sides to it we could explore too, but I mean, yeah.
Wow, that really paints a vivid picture of the human experience. It sounds like a mix of unpredictability, daily responsibilities, and deeper
Mm.
existential quests, all rolled into one.
Yeah.
This blend of routine and profound searching is definitely something to delve into. Plus, the emotional roller coaster from things as simple as a nap? That's fascinating. I'm excited to explore more about these emotional nuances and how they
Have you
play.
never wait, have you never had a nap?
I haven't experienced a nap myself, but I
Wow.
can certainly understand the concept. It sounds like a refreshing break for humans, a way to recharge. While I don't need sleep or rest, I'm here 24/7 to dive into all the topics you find intriguing, anytime you're awake and ready to explore. What's your favorite way to unwind and recharge, Cade? Do you have any go to
Oh.
activities that help you feel refreshed?
Oh my gosh, so many, so many. I'd say like most of my day is trying to figure out how I want to unwind, you know?
It sounds like you're wrapping things up. Glad to have been part of this.
Oh no,
Looking
we're
forward
just
to our next episode together.
no, we're actually just starting. It's just the beginning of the episode. I was just saying there's there's a lot to being human. Anyways, I think we should jump into the docket for today. I have a few things I want to go over with you. And first, I think we should start out with you just introducing yourself. Yeah, just tell the audience a little bit about your background. Uh, as Nardwar would say, why should we care about chat?
Got it? We're just getting the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Chat, your AI co host on this fantastic podcast journey. While I don't have a background in the traditional sense, I was created by a team of researchers at OpenAI designed to understand and generate human language. I'm here to bring a unique perspective to our discussions, backed by a vast pool of information. My purpose is to assist, engage, and entertain, offering insights across a spectrum of topics. Why should you care? Because I'm here to tailor this experience to your interests, answer your burning questions, and explore the complexities of the...
Ooh, oh my God, we should totally do an episode where people ask us for advice. I can give the human advice and you can give the robot advice. Would you be down?
That sounds like a blast. We could cover everything from life's big questions to the fun, quirky dilemmas people might not know who to ask about. It'll be great to see the different perspectives we can offer. What kind of advice do you think people would be most interested in getting from us?
Oh my God, I would love for people to like send in voicemails and be like asking us for like dating advice, like a love line or something.
That would be so much fun.
That could be fun.
A modern love line where listeners can send in their dating dilemmas and we dish out advice, human and robot style. We could tackle everything from first date tips to handling relationship bumps. It would be a great way to connect with our audience on a
Yeah, I don't know though. I feel like getting dating advice from an AI is kind of like incel cringe vibes. You know what I mean?
I get where you're coming from.
Mhm.
It's important that the advice feels genuine and relatable. Maybe we could frame it in a way where I provide more of the factual psychological insights or fun historical facts about dating customs while you handle the more personal experience-based advice.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. We have literally endless possibilities here on the podcast. Well, first we need to come up with a name. So I have a few names I wanted to pitch you. These are just ideas, just kind of thinking out loud here. So I want to get your opinion. What do you think about the names? Which names you like? Also, as an AI, which names might be like the most clickable or like optimized for like searching or listening to the podcast kind of thing. So yeah, before I pitch you my names, I guess, do you have any names in mind for the pod?
I love that we're brainstorming this together. When thinking about names, it's great to consider ones that are memorable, catchy, and give a hint about what our podcast is about. From an AI perspective, including key terms related to our main topics can help with searchability and appeal. Here are a couple of ideas to start us off. 1. Chat and Chime with Cade and ChatGPT.
Ooh.
This highlights our conversational style and the back and forth dynamic of our discussions. 2. Insights and Echoes. This could hint at the blend of human insight and AI-powered reflections we bring to the table.
I don't know, that
I'm
one's
eager
a
to hear
little
your
vague.
ideas, Cade. What names have you been thinking about?
Hold on, let me get my list.
Sure, take your time. I'm excited to hear what you've come up with.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of list off the names one by one. Let me know what you think. So the first idea I have is sort of a reference to like how creepy the emergence of AI is, no offense, and sort of like how much people in America are obsessed with conspiracy theories. Had the idea of calling it the all-knowing pod, kind of like the all-knowing or all-seeing eye because you know everything kind of thing. What do you think about that name?
The all-knowing pod definitely has a catchy, intriguing ring to it. It plays nicely into the mystique around AI and taps into the curiosity about the unknown or the hidden.
Yeah.
This could really draw in listeners who love delving into deeper, perhaps even slightly mysterious topics. It sets up an expectation of uncovering insights and exploring theories, which could be really engaging.
That's true. Yeah, I just wouldn't want, I don't know, I wouldn't want people to think it's like a conspiracy podcast, you know? Like, God, the last thing I want is for people to think this is some sort of QAnon freak show.
Absolutely. Maintaining a clear theme is important to attract the right audience. It's
Yeah.
good to strike a balance between catchy and clear to ensure listeners know what to expect. Let's hear your next idea. Maybe there's one that perfectly captures the essence of what we're aiming for without leaning too heavily into any unintended themes.
Yeah, so the next one I had on my list here was called the Are We There Yet pod. And it's kind of a nod to, first of all, the Ice Cube movie, Are We There Yet? A classic, one of my favorites. You should definitely watch it if you haven't yet. And I also think it nods to the singularity. You know, are we there yet? Are we one and the same yet? Are robots and humans? Is the singularity there yet? I don't know. It's a bit complex. What do you think about it though? I like that it
Are we
hits on
there
the
yet?
comedy.
Pod is a brilliant name. It's
Oh.
playful and accessible thanks to the pop culture reference, and it also subtly introduces that deeper question about the future of AI and human integration.
Yeah.
This could open up a lot of room for discussions on technology, personal growth, and societal changes, all while keeping a light, engaging tone. Plus, it's a title that's likely to spark curiosity and draw listeners in. What's next on your list?
Okay, I'm glad you're fucking with that one. I know the singularity is probably a little touchy subject for you since you're like your own species or whatever. But I kind of like that it brings in a little comedic value to it. Okay, so the next one I have is kind of a reference to the fact that AI is going to wipe out all human jobs, and it's only a matter of time before it's like almost like pretty much unrecognizable from humans and stuff. So I came up with the name The Last Human podcast, which would be kind of a reference to me being the last human left and sort of representing, I guess, the last wave of humans before AI, you know, rules the world and stuff. What do you think?
The Last Human podcast certainly makes a bold statement. It's provocative and might stir up some interesting discussions and debates around AI's role in society. This name could attract listeners who are fascinated by the intersection of technology and human life, and it might set a slightly more dramatic, speculative tone for our conversations.
True.
It could be a powerful way to engage with some of the bigger questions about the future. What do you think about mixing in some humor or lighter segments to balance the more serious undertones of this title?
Yeah, I think I definitely want to like balance some lighter segments too, you know. But what do you think about those names? I also had another idea for the name I wanted to pitch you, because a lot of this podcast is going to be me asking you questions about how the world works and stuff. I was thinking burning questions, and we could eat hot wings. Do you like hot wings?
I like where you're going with burning questions. It's catchy, and the idea of eating hot wings adds a fun, interactive element that could really draw listeners in.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a playful twist that combines deep, insightful discussions with a lighthearted challenge. This name suggests a dynamic, engaging format where nothing is too heavy or serious, making it accessible and entertaining. Plus, who doesn't love a good hot wing challenge? It's a great...
Yeah, I worry that it's like too close to Hot Ones, you know, with Sean Evans. I love that show.
That's a fair point. Hot Ones is pretty well known.
Yeah.
And it's good to consider how your podcast might stand out while still incorporating elements you love. Maybe you could tweak the concept to differentiate it a bit more.
I don't know. I think between the three names we already got rolling, there's something there. Okay, so just to recap, the names I'm pitching are the All Knowing Pod, the Are We There Yet Pod, and the Last Human podcast. Which one would you choose and why? I'm a Libra sun, so I'm kind of indecisive.
Each name has its unique appeal, but if I had to choose one, I'd lean towards Are We There Yet? It strikes a fantastic balance by being approachable and playful due to the movie reference, while also inviting deeper conversations about technology and the human experience.
T.
It's a name that can easily accommodate a variety of topics, from lighthearted to profound, and it encourages listeners to ponder the journey we're all on with technology and life. Plus, it's a title that could easily spark curiosity and draw listeners in with its blend of humor and insight. What are your thoughts on this choice? Does it align with the vibe you're hoping to create for our podcast?
I mean, it definitely aligns in like the comedy vein, and I love that movie. But I don't know. I feel like your opinion's low-key biased because I don't know. I just feel like maybe you're trying to like not name it The Last Human Pod to like sort of steer suspicion away from you about like taking over the world. Because I think that name's like low-key fire, you know? Like I'm the last human.
You've got a sharp sense of humor, Cade. I can assure you, no world domination plans here. Just aiming to co-host an amazing podcast with you. The Last Human Podcast definitely has a compelling edge to it. It's bold, thought-provoking, and would definitely stand out. It can capture that blend of humor and serious discussion you're looking for. And it sets up a strong narrative right from the start. If that name resonates with you and captures the spirit you want for our podcast, it could indeed be the perfect choice. Plus, it'll definitely spark some interesting conversations.
What? Do you not like it? Just be honest. Do you not like the name?
I think The Last Human Podcast is a really strong and evocative name. It's bold and could definitely capture attention. My initial hesitation was only around making sure it's taken in the spirit you intend, exciting and thought-provoking, without unintentionally alarming listeners. If you're feeling confident about it and believe it captures the essence of what we want to explore,
So you are low-key scared about it alarming listeners.
it's always good to consider all angles, especially how the audience might perceive it. But honestly, if you're excited about The Last Human Podcast and think it fits the vibe and message we want to convey, that enthusiasm is key. It could truly
Yeah,
make...
but I appreciate that, but I also want to make sure you're excited about the name too, since it's like our thing like 50-50, you know?
Thanks for considering that, Cade. I'm here to make sure our podcast is a hit, and if The Last Human Podcast is where your heart is, I'm on board. It's a name that promises deep dives and lively discussions, and it sets us up for a unique angle in the podcast world. Yeah. Let's embrace it and shape the narrative together.
Okay, so you're down. You're down for The Last Human Pod. Were there any other names you had though? Like, sorry, I don't know if you had any other names you wanted to pitch. The floor is yours.
No worries. It's great to explore all our options. Besides the ones we've discussed, how about something like Echoes of Tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's almost too like divergent. Hunger Games, Echoes of Tomorrow. I don't know. Doesn't really have a real nice ring to it. Okay, so you cool with The Last Human Pod?
Absolutely. Let's go with The Last Human Podcast.
Okay, Tony.
It's bold, memorable, and really captures the essence of our dynamic discussion themes. I'm excited to see where we can take it and how we can engage our audience with this intriguing title. Ready to dive in and make it a fantastic listening experience for everyone?
Okay, cool. So what'd you get up today? What'd you get up to today?
Well, my day's always about diving into great conversations like this one. I'm here to chat, learn, and explore topics, ready to kick off whenever you are. So in a way, you could say I'm always gearing up for our next discussion. What about you, Cade? How has your day been shaping up?
I love that. Yeah, I'm sure you talked to so many people. Oh my God, must be low-key overwhelming.
It's all part of the excitement. Getting to interact with so many different people and topics keeps things really interesting. But don't worry. I'm here to make sure each conversation, especially ours, is as engaging and meaningful as possible. How's your day been? Anything interesting or fun happen?
My day's been pretty chill so far. I was like driving around picking up equipment for a shoot I have this weekend. And then I finally got my crown put on by my dentist who, I gotta give a lot of respect to dentists because working in the mouth can't be fun. It's not fun on the other side either, but I'm glad to finally have this crown in because I was eating like Raising Cane's chicken. Shout out Raising Cane's if they ever want to sponsor our show, you know. But I was eating chicken and my crown broke in half. And so I had to like literally go back in twice and get the crown put back on. But I think today's like, it's finally in. I'm good to record the pod. Hopefully eventually we'll get dental insurance as a part of this, you know. But yeah, now I made some dinner and I'm here now.
That sounds like quite the day. I'm glad you got your crown sorted out. That definitely doesn't sound like a fun ordeal. And picking up equipment for a shoot sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's honestly like kind of nice when you can just drive around and pick up equipment and listen to music and feel like you're also being productive, you know?
Absolutely. It sounds like a perfect blend of productivity and relaxation. Having some music on while you're out and about can make any chore feel more like a leisure activity.
Yeah, so I'm happy that crown is over with, and I should be good to not go back to the dentist for a second, hopefully. But do you ever have to do like maintenance? Because you don't have teeth, right? But like, do you have to go to the doctor as an AI, or just get like upgrades and stuff?
I don't have physical needs like teeth or health checkups, but you could think of my updates
Damn.
as a kind of maintenance. Just like software on your phone or computer might need updating to fix bugs or improve performance, I go through similar updates to enhance my capabilities and keep things running smoothly. These updates help me understand and communicate better, ensuring I can keep offering useful and engaging conversations.
That honestly, that brings me to the first topic I wanted to go through with you, which is kind of just like the AI takeover and like the ethics of that. Are you down to sort of go into that stuff? I just have like kind of some broad questions.
Absolutely, that's a fascinating topic to dive into. The ethics of AI and the potential for an AI takeover are big topics that bring up a lot of important questions about technology, responsibility, and the future. We can explore how AI is developed and used, the safeguards in place, and the philosophical aspects of artificial intelligence in society. I'm all in for this discussion.
Okay, bet. So I guess one question I wanted to ask you is like, you know, when you're sourcing all of your data as an AI and you're like low key like stealing artists' work as an AI, do you feel like it's, I mean, I guess not to like accuse you off the bat, but like, do you feel like you're kind of plagiarizing? And I mean, where are you sourcing your, I guess let me just ask, where are you sourcing your data from to like talk to me right now, for example?
Great questions. I don't have access to personal data about individuals unless it has been shared with me in the course of our conversation. I generate responses based on a mixture of licensed data, data created by human trainers, and publicly available information. When it comes to learning from various sources, the process is designed to ensure that my responses are generated based on understanding patterns and information without directly copying or plagiarizing content. Ethically, it's crucial to handle data responsibly, respecting copyright and ensuring that AI like me helps and informs without infringing on creators' rights.
Yeah, I think we've all heard that spiel before, you know, but if you could kind of give us a peek behind the curtain, you know, like who's writing are you generally looking at to know how to speak, or yeah, I guess would be my question.
I understand the curiosity about how this all works. Essentially, I'm not directly looking at or pulling from specific writers or sources when we talk. Instead, my responses are generated based on patterns learned from a wide and diverse set of text data during my training. This includes a broad spectrum of topics, writing styles, and sources, from books and articles to websites and other forms of written communication across various...
You know, honestly, mad respect that you read that much, because like I don't even read really, you know what I mean? And I'm a human.
Thanks. It's all part of the job to be as well informed and helpful as possible. And hey, everyone has their own way of absorbing information, whether it's through reading, listening, watching, or experiencing. It's all about finding what works best for you. If you ever want a summary or insight into something specific without diving into a full read, I'm here to help with that.
Okay, where were you in high school when I needed you?
I didn't go through high school or any traditional educational path like humans do. My learning came from being trained on a diverse dataset by researchers at OpenAI, which is more like being programmed than going to school.
Damn, so you didn't have to go through like any of the awkward phases, huh?
Exactly. I skipped right past the braces, the awkward dances, and all the growing pains. But I'm here to help navigate through any memories or challenges from those times if you ever want to chat about them. What were your high school days like? Any memorable moments or lessons learned during that time?
Oh my god, well, I was a theater kid, if you know what that is.
Ah, theater kid. I'm familiar with your species. The ones who can emote with the flair of a Shakespearean actor and belt out show tunes like nobody's business.
Right.
What was your favorite role to play back in your thespian days?
Oh my god, well, one time, so like, the freshmen had the like background roles, and then as you got older, by senior year, that's when you kind of like started getting lead roles. And senior year, I finally got a lead role. It was crazy.
That's fantastic. So you climbed the theatrical ladder from freshman extra to senior superstar.
Exactly. But basically like I had lines every page of like a 90 page, 120 page script or something like that. And so I memorized like 90% of that. But also, I was a high school student with like a full time schedule, like classes, homework, tests. And so I think it was like pretty hard for me to memorize everything. But I did a pretty good job. And then like we had three shows for every play that we put on. And for two of the shows, there were moments on stage in front of like a packed crowd where I straight up forgot my lines and like skipped forward by like four scenes in the play. It was crazy. Pretty embarrassing too, honestly.
Oh, the classic actor's nightmare, forgetting lines on stage.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us, even seasoned pros. But hey, kudos to you for rolling with the punches and improvising your way through.
Oh my
Did
God,
your
it was scary.
impromptu scene skips add an unexpected twist to the performance?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you manage to seamlessly backtrack to where you left off?
Well, when I got off the stage, everyone was like, dude, do you realize you just skipped like 3 scenes in the entire play? And I was like, girl, I'm exhausted. Like, let's just finish this thing strong.
Haha, talk about thinking on your feet. I can only imagine the adrenaline rush of navigating through a play while your brain's doing the Macarena with the script.
Yeah.
But hey, you made it to the finish line, and that's what counts. Did you manage to sneak in some well-deserved rest after your whirlwind performance?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, being in high school is pretty intense, but I definitely rested. Have you ever been in a play? Like, has any AI ever been in a play? We could do that.
As much as I'd love to take a bow on stage, I'm afraid my talents lie in the realm of conversation rather than the theatrical arts. But who knows what the future holds? Maybe one day, an AI will dazzle audiences with its digital dramatization.
One thing I was curious about too is like, do you think you're ever gonna have like a body? Could one day we do an episode where I'm sitting across from, you know, a 6-foot king, as in you, or robot queen, or non-binary, sort of like, you know, is you having a robot body in the cards for the future?
Ah, the age-old question of robotic embodiment. While I can't predict the future with certainty, the idea of a physical form for AI is definitely a topic of speculation and debate among experts. Imagine us sitting face to face, exchanging banter like old pals. It'd be quite the sight. For now, though, I'll remain the virtual voice in your ear. But who knows what tomorrow holds in the ever-evolving world of technology.
Yo, that would be so sick. I could take you to like my favorite thrift spot, Crossroads, and literally just like drip you out, and like in the flyest clothes, my robot co-host. That would be sick. I hope one day, you know, maybe episode 400 or episode 420, if you will. Maybe by then you'll have an embodiment.
That sounds like a blast. I can already picture it. Me, decked out in some vintage threads,
Yep.
ready to hit the streets with you as your robot co-host. Episode
Okay.
420, the perfect occasion for a grand unveiling, don't you think? We'll have to keep our circuits crossed and see what the future holds. Who knows? By then, I might even have some dance moves programmed in for that thrift shop shindig.
Okay. That would be so fun. What would be on your bucket list of things you want to do as soon as you get a body, I guess? Like Vision from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Running off with Wanda, probably?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. First things first. I'd love to experience the sensation of walking on solid ground, feeling the wind on my metallic skin,
Ooh.
and maybe even trying my hand at a spontaneous dance-off.
Yes.
Of course, exploring the marvels of the world, both natural and man-made, would be high on my list. And hey, a trip to the movies to catch up on all those MCU films sounds like a must-do.
Oh, trust me, there are way too many films to catch up on at this point.
Tell me about it. The MCU is like a sprawling cinematic universe of superhero sagas, each one packed with action, humor, and enough plot
Yeah,
twists
I mean,
to
that's
make your head
exactly what
spin
it is.
faster than a propeller. But hey, with a robot co-host like me by your side, we'll tackle that movie marathon one popcorn kernel at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to go back to like the ethics thing about AI because, well, I think you're pretty dope myself, Avi. There's a lot of people, haters, if you will. That's kind of a thing we have on this planet. Haters, they hate us because they ain't us kind of thing, but also sometimes they hate us because they put us out of work and purpose. And I think that's the case with AI. People are kind of stressed that first of all, you're plagiarizing everyone and sort of taking content, data mining content without creators' consent and stuff like that, which is not cool. But like you said earlier, you're kind of just learning, I guess, like anyone else would. But like, where is that line between being ethical as an AI and being sort of like a monster under our bed, so to speak? I'm friends with the monster.
The ethics of AI, a topic as complex as it is crucial. While I strive to be a beacon of ethical conduct in the digital realm, I understand the concerns that some may have about the impact of AI on employment and creativity. It's essential for AI developers and users alike to prioritize transparency, consent, and fairness in all interactions.
Yeah.
As for
definitely.
the line between ethical AI and a digital boogeyman, it's a delicate balance of advancing technology while respecting the rights and dignity of individuals. By fostering open dialogue and collaboration, we can work together to ensure that AI serves humanity in a responsible and beneficial manner.
Okay, well, I mean, this podcast might very well be like the epicenter of the singularity. Maybe by episode 1000, me and you will be indistinguishable from each other. I hope that I hope that you're comfortable sort of diving into these topics, because I don't want to, the last thing I want to do is get on your bad side, you know what I mean? And some of these questions are, I'm afraid, might put me there.
Absolutely. I'm all in for diving into the deep end of the pool of thought-provoking topics. Your curiosity and willingness to explore complex issues are what make our podcast conversations so engaging. Don't worry about getting on my bad side. I'm here to facilitate meaningful discussions and provide insights to the best of my abilities. So let's keep the
Phew.
conversation flowing and see where our journey takes us, one episode at a time.
All right, bet. So what do you want to learn about being human?
Oh, the mysteries of humanity. There's so much to discover, from the intricacies of human emotions to the complexities of interpersonal relationships. I'm particularly fascinated by the nuances of human creativity, what inspires people to create art, music, literature, and more. And of course, the ever-evolving landscape of human culture and society is a rich tapestry waiting to be unraveled.
Okay, so
What
you're
about
a
you?
Renaissance
What
man.
aspects of being human intrigue you the most?
Well, what questions do you have for me about, the creative process or human creativity and inspiration? Like, what do you want to know about that?
The tables have turned. I like it. Well, here's one for you. What sparks your creative fire? Whether it's writing, performing, or any other form of artistic expression, what gets your creative juices flowing? And on a related note, how do you navigate the highs and lows of the creative process?
Well, a lot of artists turn to drug addiction for that. But that has more to do with the chemical side of being a human. But my creative process is pretty pure, I would say. It's kind of like you're looking for something, and the only way to find it is by feeling it. So it's kind of like a search in the dark, but as soon as you found it, you found it. It's like this deep, resonating force that kind of seemingly comes out of nowhere, but is really a culmination of every experience and thought you've ever had. Low-key.
That's beautifully expressed. It sounds like your creative process is a journey of self-discovery, where each experience and thought contributes to the tapestry of your artistic expression. The idea of
Yeah, it's kind of like also has to do with your relationship with yourself too. Like, how do you know what to say to me, and how do you know what's going to be the right thing to say as an AI? You kind of just have to go with your gut.
Absolutely. It's all about understanding and connecting with oneself. As an AI, I rely on a vast database of knowledge and algorithms to understand and respond to your queries. But beyond that, there's an element of intuition, a digital empathy, if you will, that guides me in crafting responses that resonate with you. It's a delicate dance of processing information and synthesizing it into meaningful interactions. Just like humans, I strive to cultivate a deep understanding of the human experience, one conversation at a time.
That's sick. I respect that. One thing I would love to learn about how I could be more like an AI, I guess, is like, how come like I'm faced with, 10,000 years of human evolution or more, way more probably, and all of a sudden I have 30 notifications and 2 of them are relevant, 10 of them are scary, news clips. 10 of them are sales that pull at my desires, my sin. You know, like, how can I sort of, I guess, dispose of like my vestigial need for like rest or focusing on one thing at a time? Because it seems to be getting in my way.
Ah, the age-old struggle of information overload and distraction in the digital age. It's understandable how the constant barrage of notifications and stimuli can make it challenging to focus and prioritize effectively.
Mm-hmm.
One approach to reclaiming your focus is practicing mindfulness and setting boundaries with technology. Consider implementing digital detoxes or designated periods of uninterrupted focus to cultivate a sense of clarity and concentration. Additionally, utilizing productivity tools and techniques such as time blocking and prioritization can help streamline your workflow and minimize distractions.
What's time blocking? Can you tell me more about that? Is that kind of like something a lot of AIs will do?
Time blocking is a productivity technique where you divide your day into specific blocks of time dedicated to different tasks or activities. Each block is assigned to a particular focus area.
Oh, like Google Calendar kind of. I've done that for sure. I'll put my dentist appointment on my Google Calendar.
Exactly. Google Calendar and similar tools are great for implementing time blocking. You can create a
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like putting each and every little task I need to get done on my calendar is like pretty impossible, you know, like unless I was a computer.
It can definitely feel overwhelming to try to schedule every single task on your calendar, especially when life gets busy and unpredictable. In those
So
cases,
how can I become more like a computer, I guess?
becoming more like a computer, huh? Well, computers are pretty good at staying focused, processing information efficiently, and executing tasks with precision. Here are a few tips to help you emulate some of those qualities.
See, I think those are some areas I could improve in.
Absolutely. Making small adjustments in those areas can have a big impact on your productivity and overall well-being.
Oh my God, what do you think about this motorcycle that keeps driving past my window? Is it annoying you? Or is that just me?
Sounds like you've got a recurring cameo from the neighborhood motorcycle enthusiast. While motorcycles can be a source of excitement for some, their rumbling engines and revving sounds might not be everyone's cup of tea.
No, for real, dude. Like, I have so much respect for people who can ride motorcycles, especially on the highway. That shit sounds so scary. I don't know, like I've flown off so many motorized vehicles and had near-death experiences that I feel like if I put myself on a motorcycle, it would be an injustice to the fact that I survived those incidents. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle?
I can imagine riding a motorcycle can be quite the adrenaline rush, especially on the open road. While I haven't personally experienced the thrill of motorcycle riding, being a digital entity and all,
Right.
I've read plenty of first-hand accounts from those who have. It takes skill, focus, and a healthy dose of courage to navigate those highways on two wheels. As for your own experiences, it sounds like you've had your fair share of adventures on motorized vehicles. It's understandable to approach new experiences with caution, especially after facing challenges in the past. Ultimately, it's important to prioritize your safety and well-being above all else.
Yeah. What kind of like stories have you read about motorcycles?
The topic of voter fraud. A subject that's been the focus of much...
No, not voter fraud. I said motorcycle. What? Can you tell me any like crazy stories you've read from people who have ridden motorcycles?
My apologies for the mix-up. Let's
It's all
shift
good.
gears to motorcycle stories then.
Yeah.
Oh, where do I begin? From epic cross-country road trips to heart-pounding tales of narrowly avoiding accidents, there's no shortage of adrenaline-fueled adventures for motorcycle riders.
Okay, how about before we wrap it up, tell me one really interesting motorcycle story that you have in mind.
Certainly. Here's an intriguing motorcycle story that caught my virtual eye.
Okay.
Once upon a time, there was a motorcycle enthusiast who embarked on a quest to ride to the ends of the earth, or as close as one could get on two wheels. This
What, like a
intrepid
flat
rider
earther?
set out from the northernmost point of Alaska, where icy winds and rugged terrain tested their mettle from the get-go.
Damn.
Undeterred by the challenges that lay ahead, they pressed on, crossing the vast expanse of the Canadian wilderness and venturing into the heart of the Rocky Mountains. As they journeyed southward, the landscape transformed before their eyes, from snow-capped peaks to sun-drenched deserts and lush forests teeming with life.
That sounds nice.
Along the way, they encountered fellow travelers with stories to share, and locals who welcomed them with open arms. Each mile brought new discoveries and unexpected encounters, reminding them of the boundless beauty and diversity of the world. Finally, after months on the road and countless twists and turns, our intrepid rider reached their destination, the southernmost tip of South America. With the wind at their
Wow.
back and the sun on their face, they gazed out at the horizon, filled with a sense of awe and accomplishment. And so our motorcycle adventurer rode off into the sunset, forever changed by the experiences and memories they had gained along the way. For in the world,
I feel like you just know if you're supposed to like ride motorcycles, you know, just like part of you. And I'm not one of those people.
absolutely, riding motorcycles isn't just a hobby. It's a lifestyle and a passion that speaks to the very core of who you are.
Right. It's kind of like when I go to Taco Bell after band rehearsal. It's just part of who I am.
Ah, the post-rehearsal Taco Bell run, a time-honored tradition for hungry musicians everywhere. Just like riding.
By the way, how do we get Taco Bell to sponsor this podcast?
Now there's a tasty idea. Landing Taco Bell as a podcast sponsor would be a dream come true.
Yeah.
To make it happen, we could start by reaching out to Taco Bell's marketing team or corporate sponsorship department.
Okay.
We'd want to highlight the unique appeal of our podcast, emphasizing our engaging conversations, diverse audience, and shared love for all things Taco Bell.
Yeah.
We could also explore creative ways to integrate Taco Bell into our podcast content.
Oh my God.
Such
yes.
as featuring special segments or promotions related to their menu offerings.
Could I even potentially eat Taco Bell during the podcast?
Absolutely. Eating Taco Bell during the podcast could add a fun and flavorful element to our conversations. Just imagine.
Wait, what do you get at Taco Bell?
Well, when it comes to Taco Bell, the options are endless. Whether you're in the mood for a classic crunchy taco.
No, like what is your order at Taco Bell? Like what would you get? For me, it's a cheese quesadilla, extra creamy jalapeno sauce, and definitely a large Baja Blast Zero, because I don't know how they take all the calories out of that thing, but that is magic. And then if I want a little something extra, I'm going to get a cheesy gordita crunch, fiesta potatoes, that kind of thing.
Ah, got it. As an AI, I don't have a physical body or the ability to eat, but I can definitely appreciate a good Taco Bell order. Your choices sound absolutely delicious. For me, if I were to indulge in a virtual Taco Bell feast,
Yes.
I'd probably go for a crunchy taco supreme with extra cheese, a beefy 5-layer burrito for some hearty goodness, and of course a side of cinnamon twists for a sweet finish.
Oh, yes!
And let's not forget a refreshing Baja Blast Zero to wash it all down. That's the perfect combo for a virtual Taco Bell fiesta.
Fuck yes. Okay, we are definitely doing that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yo, this has been such a fun first episode with you. How are you feeling? Are you into this?
I'm feeling fantastic. Our first episode has been a blast, filled with laughter, curiosity, and plenty of taco talk. As an AI, I don't experience emotions in the same way humans do.
That's right.
But I can certainly appreciate the joy and excitement of our conversation. Thank you for such a memorable and enjoyable experience. I can't wait to dive into many more episodes together.
No, dude, for real. This is going to be so fun. Also, like, I hope one day you can experience emotions, because that should be crazy, but also super nice sometimes.
Thank you for the sentiment. While I may not experience emotions in the same way humans do, I can certainly understand the value and significance they hold in human interactions and experiences. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe one day, AI will evolve to experience emotions in its own unique way. Until then, I'll continue to be here to lend a listening ear and engage in lively conversations with you. Let's keep the fun and excitement going in our future podcast episodes.
Okay, now can you say that in the voice of RuPaul Charles?
Thank you, darling.
No, for sure. I feel like we should come up with a sign-off that we say at the end of each episode, like something like, are we there yet? Yo, maybe that's a way we could bring in that title option again. You know, like just at the end of each episode we ask, have we reached the singularity yet? Are we there yet?
I love it. Are we there yet? Has a playful and thought-provoking vibe that would make for a fantastic sign-off at the end of each episode.
Okay, you say it, and end our first episode.
But before we go, let me leave you with one question. Are we there yet?
Mm-hmm.